And don't mention there that the whole team are vaccinated. Is it still something you're very conscious of avoiding picking up COVID in this now?
Yeah, definitely. Like you see there with the Tyrone footballers and that, it's still out there. So yeah, we try and stick to our bubble as much as we can and try not to be mixing with others, especially in indoor settings. So it was great that we're all kind of vaccinated now at this stage, but you can still, I think, be deemed a close contact in that even if you're vaccinated. So we just try in for the next 2 weeks now, stick to our own bubble and try not to be mixing too much.
You said there you went to All Ireland Finals from a young age. Can you remember the first one you went to?
Yeah, 99 Cork and Kilkenny was my first one actually. I was only 6, and I've been to every All Ireland since then actually. So there wasn't many that Limerick were in the first few years. It was always your tipping Corks and Kilkennys. It is a bit mad now that we've been in 3 finals now in 4 years. Limerick supporters probably aren't, and we haven't been used to that success.
Did you get drenched up there?
I did. I remember it well. So the All Ireland Finals is always a great occasion. It's always a weekend that I would have always looked forward to, whether Limerick were in it or weren't in it. Being able to play in one now is just a bit mad when you're thinking about it. Growing up, that was your dream, to be playing in All Ireland Finals for your county. So to be able to live that experience the last few years is just great.
And as the twins were growing up and getting older, would there be scraps for who gets the tickets, or would you probably be able to accommodate all? There
would have been sometimes, when tickets were scarce. Towards the latter years, sometimes we might have managed to get tickets for us all, but we would have always made it kind of nearly a family day out. That would have been the one weekend. Whoever was paying it, we would have always made the trip to Croke Park.
Any final standouts in particular out of all those?
I suppose that 2014, the Tip Kilkenny one with the Hawkeye incident at the end was probably for excitement. That one probably stands out the most. But look, there's been some great finals. I suppose Limerick Kilkenny in 2007. It was the first time Limerick had been in a final in a good few years. So I remember the excitement around the county even at that time. I was 14, so I was still young, but I still remember it very well.
You mentioned 2014, that would have been JJ Delaney's last final. He's probably the last, the standout example in terms of a player going from wing back to full back over the last 20 odd years. Is he somebody that you would have modelled your game on in any way, or was he?
Definitely. JJ was one of my favourite players growing up. The way he played the game, he wasn't such a big lad, but he used to always come out with the ball, whether it was a high ball or a ruck. I suppose he changed from half-back to full-back in his latter years. So, he's definitely someone I would have looked up to when I was growing up.
Well, Limerick only been in one final since you started going. I presume a good few of your heroes would have been outside of Limerick then, and players you would have been watching those days. Or anyone in particular?
I remember Dan Shanahan for Waterford would have always been a big one of mine in the 2000s. I just loved the way he played the game, and he probably would have been one that would have stood out for me. That was, I suppose, a great Waterford team for those couple of years.
You didn't decide to celebrate like him any year like that?
No, I'd have to get rid of the helmet now.
You don't like going into Sunday week? Any special plans for Mr. Corrigan?
No, look, whoever you're marking, you just have to get on with it. Every player, I suppose, has their certain strengths. Look, all 6 Cork forwards are serious players. There's no such thing as an easy opponent nowadays. Anyone who's starting in an All Ireland final is a serious player. So, just have to deal with what's in front of us and the ball that's coming in.
What's your day job, Dan, or what do you do?
I'm an accountant, so busy enough between the work and the training now. Most of the lads in the team are either students or teachers, so they all have the summers off. They have it nice and handy.
Dan, you mentioned the semi-finals. Like 2019 was obviously the one that got away. Like, what happened for the final then? Like, what did you do, or what was your view? And again, do you think, given the nature of the sideline that wasn't given a 65, like, was that a hard final to watch, knowing how close you were?
It was, yeah. Look, Tip were fully deserving, obviously, of the All Ireland that year, but I still went up to it. I watched that final, and Tip were obviously a good bit better on the day. And look, we did have regrets in that semi-final. It takes a good few weeks and even months to kind of get over it, but you can't keep dwelling on the past the whole time. So once the 2020 season started, I think we might have went back training in November 2019. A kind of a line was drawn, and we just said we moved on. There's no point looking back and saying what if this or what if that. You just have to get on with the future. You can't change the past.
Did you think about not going though? Because that must have been tough,
Yeah.
to sit, and given how I presume the feeling that should have been us, could have been us.
Yeah. No, I think a few boys probably didn't even watch that All Ireland final. I'd always watch it no matter what. I won't lie, it probably was a tough watch knowing what you could have been there, but look, it was in our own hands. I wouldn't put it down to that 65 decision. There was other chances in the game that we had to win it, and we didn't take them. So the blame was kind of with us that we weren't in the final that year.
Do you leave that sort of a day even hungrier? Like, it must be something that you store in your mind a small bit as well, hoping that you want to get back there again.
It is, definitely, yeah. I suppose even when you get the feeling of winning like we did in 2018, you just want to get back there as much as you can, because you see everything that goes with it in terms of the celebrations and what it means to family and friends and the whole county. So once you get the feeling of winning, you just want to win as much as you can for as long as you can. So I think that's just been the case every year since.